Hey everyone, you're listening to the official podcast of 4playernetwork.com. Check us out at that address for everything you need to know about our community, monthly giveaways, and nightly live streams. You can even support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4player. And last but not least, you can catch the live recordings of these podcasts every single Thursday night on our Twitch channel. We hope to see you there. Enjoy. Welcome to 4Player Podcast, episode 656. It is October 1st, 2020. My name is Nick Henderson. I am joined tonight by Brad Simons.
What's up?
Nolan Hedstrom.
How's it going, everybody?
And Christopher Davis.
Good evening.
We have, first of all, it's October. It is Spooktober, as I like to call it. It is. We are in Halloween, horror zone, horror month, whatever you want to call it. I'm fucking excited. There's so much stuff to play. We have some good stuff to talk about tonight. Not a lot of horror games, but that's coming. That's definitely coming. Tonight, we are going to talk about Spelunky 2, Mafia Definitive Edition, and 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. But before
Aegis Rim?
Aegis Rim?
It's Aegis.
What did I say?
Aegis, whatever.
Aegis Rim.
I don't know.
It ain't Aegis.
I've only ever read it on something. I've never heard anyone say it out loud. So
Sure.
I apologize.
Sure.
A couple things, a little bit of housekeeping before we get too far. We have a winner for the Revival Club this month. We're going to be playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
How about I explain what it is?
Fine. How about
Christ,
please do.
Nick? It's not that complicated. It is a Castlevania double feature. Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night. Those are 1 and 2. One's a direct sequel to the other. The opening level of Symphony of the Night, you literally play the final boss of Rondo of Blood. Same game director,
but two very different styles of Castlevania.
Two very different styles of Castlevania, which is why that double feature is such an interesting thing to do. Because it's considered to be one of the best of classic Castlevania, which is a story predecessor to what became the revolutionary reinvention of Castlevania. And, you can get a taste of the old style before you play the revolutionary new style. And they come bundled together on PSN, and they were on sale. So if you bought
they are
you
still
have them
on
both.
sale, actually.
Yeah.
I checked this afternoon. I checked this evening just to verify. You can buy them together for $9.99 on PSN. If you have PlayStation Plus, they're $7.99, additional 10% off. So I snagged that. That's the version I'm going to be playing. I'm very excited to finally dive into these games because I've wanted to play Symphony of the Night for years. I feel like I should have played it a long time ago, but I haven't. But that kind of makes it a perfect fit. And honestly, Castlevania kind of steamrolled the competition in this poll. Like it won with 36% of the vote when there were six games total. So, I'm pretty excited. We're going to be playing it through the month of October.
Hold on,
I'm going to
Nick,
be streaming it.
But
on
did Castlevania win the Electoral College, though? Because it won the popular vote.
It's true.
Oh, God. Never.
People in rural areas
Never
voted for the
introducing
darkness,
Electoral
too.
College on this. But yeah, I'll be streaming that on Tuesday. I'm going to start with Rondo of Blood. Brad, explain to me, when should it be okay for me to say fuck it and just move on to Symphony of the Night?
There's no someone has to tell me when to say fuck it. No, you are going to say fuck it, and that's when you stop playing Rondo of Blood.
Will I benefit? I guess what I'm asking is,
Nick,
play for an hour.
You're not gonna.
Right. This bitch
play
over
for
here
an
doesn't
hour.
think
Nick.
I can do it.
No, you can't. Not only can you not do it, you won't do it.
Nick, I can't fucking do it. It's not
can't
about
do it, Nick.
It's not about the inability to do it. It's about the mental ability to do it.
Yeah, but you have to experience that first. It's just and it's the appetizer to the revolution.
Yeah,
it's a great game, and I have beaten it before, but it's very painful. And I mostly used Maria, which is the little girl who throws birds, and she breaks the game, but it's still impossible.
Damn. Okay, well, point is, I'm very much looking forward to finally playing Symphony of the Night. It's long been considered one of Brad's favorite games of all time. We talk about it on this show all the damn time. and I'm finally going to play it along with everybody in the Revival Club. So there's already a channel set up in Discord called Castlevania. So if you are a supporter on Patreon or Twitch, you could already be in there playing the game, talking about it with others. Very excited. I'm going to be recording the Bully episode for Revival Club next week with Mr. Green Toast and Finding 404 as the community guests. So it looks like this weekend I'm finally going to finish Bully. But yeah, that's all I got right now. I want to jump straight into the fucking video.
That's all you got right now? That's all you've got?
Oh, fuck. Now I feel like an asshole, Chris Davis.
You should.
It's Happy birthday, Chris Davis.
Thank you.
Yay.
It's very kind.
Chris Davis is a very giving person. It's his birthday, and he gifted everybody else but him, his top 10 games of all time. That video is now available. He shadow dropped it this morning.
It depends on how you look at it, though.
Explain.
What?
Oh, are you?
It might not be a gift for all of us. Well, whatever.
Hey, 3 of those games were real good.
You know, I like every single one of the games on that list, even though only one of them was a Japanese game. No, I think 2 of them were.
5 of them were.
I'm kidding. I'm just making shit up. Come on. I've been making jokes about what's not actually on your list all day.
Yes, you have.
His
so
fake
people,
spoilers
so
in
people
Discord are pretty
actually
hilarious.
watch the video.
My favorite one was what did you say earlier? Like you were shocked by how high the Doom 2016 demo ranked.
No. Yeah, his number 2 game of all time was that trailer they showed behind closed doors at QuakeCon for the Doom reboot.
Anyways, the video is up. It's available. It's on YouTube. It's on Twitter. I'm also going to be posting it on the site at 4playernetwork.com probably tomorrow. So check it out. It's a good list. It's a good, solid list. Some surprises on there, too, Chris Davis. Some genuine surprises.
Some games lacking on there were surprising for me.
Really? I would like to have this
lacking
discussion.
because you were expecting them on Chris Davis's list?
Yes.
Or just because... Yeah, you're right. There's at least one I can think of, and I was like, what? And the thing he replaced him with. Interesting.
I don't want to say what it is because I do want people to watch the video.
I knew there was going to be a lot of Tom Clancy games, but Tom Clancy's Hawks.
Damn. Is that the one that was like voice controlled or something?
No, that was End
No.
End
War.
Hawks was the Ace Combat ripoff.
Yeah,
that's right.
Was that the one that was like big on like the DualShock like axis or something like that? Or was that a different one? I know there was some game.
I think that would have to be a
I might be
different one.
confusing things.
I think you are.
Chris Davis, you played Hawks though, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was Ace Combat meets Tom Clancy.
I played like
Hawks.
2 hours of it and I just shut it off. I hated it.
Damn.
Like
strong words.
The thing about it is that it's not a game about dogfighting. It's a game where you press a button and for 95% of the experience you're just in like this isometric view of your plane and you're just making it spin to shoot at enemies. It turns it into like a 2D shmup and it's bad.
Huh. I had no idea. Well, we're just kidding. That's not on his list, but y'all should definitely go check out his list. Like I said, it's on YouTube, it's on Twitter. It'll be on the site tomorrow. Now, again, I feel like we focused a lot on the video. Happy birthday, Christopher Davis.
Thank you.
It is your birthday. But yeah, let's get to the show. We have some games to talk about. There's 2 new releases, and I feel like we should start with the one that Chris Davis played. And Brad played. Chris, did you play it? Did you end up playing it?
I played an hour today. I've been so busy.
Yeah, that's honestly nothing in this game because of the way it's structured.
So
are we talking about it?
Let's talk
sure,
about it.
Why not? Fuck it. It's the one, yeah. Let's talk about 13 Sentinels.
It's the
Aegis Rim.
Yeah, sure. Closer, Nick.
What is it? Aegis?
I guess.
Colder.
Somebody look up the how to pronounce for him.
Aegis, whatever. It doesn't matter. Hey, the new Vanillaware game. Creators of games such as Odin Sphere, Muramasa the Demon Blade, Dragon's Crown, which are, beautiful side-scrolling action RPGs, beat 'em up games, right?
People in chat are already yelling anime at the top of their lungs, apparently.
Well, okay. First of all, give Vanillaware a little more credit than that. Okay, there's a lot of games that look anime, and they look fucking terrible. This game looks great. This is unlike their other games. This is a visual novel mostly, which means you have a lot of characters talking, and there's a lot of story. And usually in visual novels, there's like multiple endings, and you're usually going back to the beginning and making different choices. It's sort of like a staple for the genre. Already a question, go for it.
Dude, why does every fucking anime high school have this rooftop with like the chain link fence?
It's a Japanese thing. It's a Japanese thing.
Hold on. Does every Japanese high school have this?
Actually,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
like
a staple of design. The fences are to help prevent suicides.
Okay,
really?
Thanks.
Hold on, Chris.
That might be
thanks,
true,
Chris
but-
Davis. That's not what
or
I was
maybe
talking about.
just because
I'm
it's
sure
a
that's
roof
fine that there's a
that
fence
kids
there.
go up.
But yeah, that's my curiosity. Does every fucking school, like my school growing up, had a roof, but we weren't allowed to go on it? And that's what I'm saying. Like, does every fucking high school in Japan just let kids go up on the roof, and that's why it's
I
like the
guess.
cool thing?
Yeah, yes, or maybe the
In
cool kids go
animes
up
or
on the
something?
roof.
Like, didn't they fucking go up on the roof in fucking Tokyo Drift?
But I feel like in American movies,
think they did,
in
yeah.
American like high school movies and stuff too, like where there is a roof you can go on, that's where cool kids are going,
Vang in chat says they have the rooftops, but they're not actually allowed to go there. So it must be like a thing in
Cool kids.
in
Also-
anime or
Also, this girl I'm controlling like is the leader of a gang / yakuza. I don't actually know yet. Here's the thing: 13 Sentinels. It is mostly a visual novel. There's also a strategy game element, which we will get to later in the footage. But mostly, I think you're coming to this for the visual novel, the story, the crazy story. And let me tell you, not only is the story crazy, and I listed off some stuff on Twitter, and I can read some of that stuff off now.
please do.
This game is kind of hard to follow, not just because of the content. Mostly mechs versus kaiju and time travel and alternate timelines and I could go down this list, but it's too much. It gets.
My favorite part of your list that you posted was everybody has 2 names. Then you go down like 5 bullets, and it was like 3 names.
Yeah, there's a talking cat who might be the devil. I don't actually know. He grants wishes. Maybe he's just a genie.
Oh,
also,
God.
he's a dick. He's kind of like Salem from
Sabrina?
Sabrina
Are they
the
calling
Teenage Witch, except
Madoka? Oh shit!
way more rude. There's a little robot who's kind of like Wall-E. There's flashbacks, alternate timelines. There's witches. I was very surprised. I started playing as one character, and she's like, "Well, the cat was saying, here is your magical gun, so go kill that witch."
Well, hold on. If there's witches and was it a black cat?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you sure it's not? Are you sure it's not Thackeray Binks?
Maybe it is Thackeray. Who?
Who is
What?
Thackeray Binks?
Yeah, come
Is this a
on.
reference I don't get? Okay.
Fucking
Here's the thing,
Hocus
we know-
Pocus.
Hold on, let me.
Oh.
I didn't record. I recorded. There's more gameplay footage, but
Wasn't
it's less visually interesting to look at when we get to the gameplay footage, and we'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
But I got to talk about this visual novel because not only is this shit bonkers in terms of like the places the story goes, which I'm just still at the start of the story, but here's what makes it more confusing: is this takes place in Japan in various time periods and timelines and dimensions, and all the characters go by their first and last name, which is, Japanese first, Japanese last name. Can be confusing for, a non-native Japanese speaker or someone who lives in Japan. Also, the characters, they speak very naturally, and some characters call people by their last names, and some people call characters by their first names. So different characters will refer to the same person as their first or their last name, or their actual last name from the other time period, or like pre-Men in Black style amnesia. I don't know, but some people have more than one name. And they're using like the Chan and the Sun and the Kun. So I'm like, I don't know who the fuck anyone's talking about half the time. I'm like hyper focused trying to figure this shit out. Not to mention, you play this game through this story from 13 different perspectives. Literally 13
Hence the
different
name.
characters you play as. And they all have confusing names. And I'm just trying. I feel like I'm drowning. But it's still really compelling because one, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to look at, and there's no doubt about that. And the way they deliver the lines, like the voice acting is really good. It's all in English. You can play in Japanese if you like, but the English is really, really good. Also, like the way it's like delivered, a lot of visual novels are really boring to look at. You're just looking at like frozen, badly animated or non-animated like anime pictures of chicks with big boobs and stuff, and it's like, this is not actually that interesting to look at, but supposedly the story's really good. This is really nice to look at. The voice acting is really good, and the writing's good, and the way like the rhythm of the dialogue is really good. It's like just very easy to read, easy. I don't know. It's a
smooth experience.
Very smooth experience.
Okay.
Like, and you have the thought bubbles, and that's how you get more information on things you're thinking about. And then there's like cool UI elements where if you're like kind of like asking a character a specific thing, you'll see like an arrow from that thought bubble to the person.
Yeah.
It's all just really well done. So it's like, it's nice to look at. And like it's well delivered. So even though it's like really bonkers, it feels like it's something that I'm in a lesser game, I would be way more confused than I actually am. And I feel like
a lot of
stuff is
people
going
on
to come
social
together.
Media who I wouldn't normally, expect to be like huge fans of this game are like going crazy over this.
Yeah. It seems it seems really good. Now, right now, we're about to start gameplay, and you are seeing all the different characters naked inside their mechs because for some reason you have to be naked.
I was gonna ask, are they naked?
I don't think that's been explained yet. Why they have to be naked, but everyone's naked inside their mech.
Is that like in G Gundam where they have to fucking get on their like skin tight suits when they get into their mechs or whatever? It's kind of like that, but in this case they have to be naked.
Maybe a heat thing. Maybe I don't know. A sweat thing. I don't know.
They have to become one with a robot.
It does really feel like it's
you press a button with your dick or something like that.
I feel really confused, but it feels like it's going to come together probably pretty well. It reminds me of like a movie like Your Name or something, right? Where you're like, what the fuck is going on? But then when it comes together, you're like, oh wow, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it's bonkers. So here's the gameplay, and this is like, if anything is somewhat divisive about this game, it's that specifically for a company like Vanillaware that makes such beautiful games, beautiful gameplay, beautiful action, this combat system is like a RTS style game, and what you see is what you get. So even though it's about giant mechs fighting like giant, kaiju and like, destroying buildings and stuff, everything is super abstracted. And to this, what you see here, it's an interesting choice. It's not beautiful to look at, like you expect from a Vanillaware game. I will say, like, in terms of like the look of the UI and some of the effects, some of the stuff is like low key actually nice to look at. As crazy as that sounds, like some of the like when you're like going through your menu and looking at the different abilities before you select them, like if you wait a little bit, like an animation, like a drawn animation will pop up of what that attack's going to look like from that mech or whatever. It's like these little things that I should say would look really bad in maybe some other games that were trying to do an abstracted RTS like this.
I mean,
it's just kind of disappointing because it's Vanillaware.
Yeah, I'm looking at this isometric view of this combat arena, and I'm thinking like I've seen like tons of games that kind of go for this look and feel, whatever. And the thought of Vanillaware doing something like this is just kind of bizarre.
It might be that their art style is like super expensive, for maybe the budgets they have to work with. Because while Vanillaware games always look really amazing, and this does look really amazing outside of combat. If you think back to like Odin Sphere or Miramas or even Dragon's Crown, you have like beautiful environments and stuff, but it's very repetitive. Like you're going to spend a lot of time in each of those environments. Like Odin Sphere especially is notorious for that, where you're going through the same environments over and over again as like 5 different characters. And it's like, shit, it must just be they didn't have the budget to make, 24 different environments, just 5. Because it's all hand drawn. But I'm telling you, it might be hard to tell on the stream, but like outside of combat, it's a really beautiful game. And even inside combat, like the UI, it's like a stylized abstraction. and it's
like this. Are you referring to the UI specifically in combat?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
To me, this screams like fucking early 2000s, like that style kind of. This a game you would see on like early PS2 from Japan.
Yeah.
Like an early PS2 mech game from a studio that isn't necessarily known for visually stunning games. I feel like there's like this really stark contrast whenever because a lot of times there's dialogue happening in combat and you're going through the menu and whatnot, and you see like the drawing of the actual mech pop up on the right there, and that looks really clean and really nice, and you can instantly tell like, oh, that's Vanillaware art, but everything behind it, everything happening in the background is just
I'm not really hovering over the attacks very long, but I'm telling you, like when you hover over them too, like it plays like a little animation if you wait a second, which I'm not really showing a chance to see. But it's unfortunate that this footage is so like there's more of the combat because I did like a whole combat.
What's the ratio of like the combat?
Well, here's another interesting thing. So when you do the prologue, you kind of probably like half the characters you have to play as like a little story sequence, and then you have to do like a tutorial style like combat sequence in between. But once you get out of the prologue, you can like just focus on the story and not do any of the combat, or you could just do combat. It's actually two separate parts of the menu, but the thing is, when you get to the character select, when you select a character because you're given some freedom as to whose story you want to progress, but then you get to the points where the stories will start being locked out, and they'll be locked out. They'll say, well, you need to do this person's story before this unlocks, or for a couple of the characters, they'll be like, okay, well, now you need to do this battle before these characters become unlocked. So you can like really heavily focus on just story, like kind of front loaded if you want to, or play it in chunks like that, because that is honestly the really compelling part. I think there's some interest. I mean, I think there's some like neat ideas with the combat, but maybe I'm too early. It doesn't feel all that complicated yet. But again, I'm still just kind of early. But it's kind of fun. I mean, there's some neat ideas. Like some of the mechs are like flying, so you can kind of move them across the map however you want. And again, it's hard to tell, but you see all these blue lines. They're like the roads or whatever. So you actually have to like move your mechs along these roads if they can't fly. But it's mostly just sort of positioning, and everything's sort of moving. And when you take your turn, everything freezes, and then you're like shoot a big fucking laser as everything starts to move again, and it's pretty cool. And even in combat, like when you get conversations and dialogue between the characters.
And they're all still naked.
No, it's like fucking it's like Melfina from Outlaw Star. When she pilots the ship, she's got to be naked.
Yeah.
But that was more of just like a personal choice, wasn't
Outlaw
it?
Stars, that's a good one. But like again, I can't stress enough like the voice acting and the writing. Like I'm telling you, like this is it seems like a very well presented story, and I'm still trying to figure out who all these characters are because it's confusing, man. But as I'm starting to like come to grips with it, I'm starting to really care about some of these characters' relationships and stuff, and it's got its hooks on me. Let me tell you, when I first started playing this week, I played for like an hour, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna play Hades because Hades is incredibly good and addictive, and I intended to play a lot more of this game before the podcast, but I couldn't stop playing Hades. I could not stop playing Hades, and I felt terrible. Because I knew I was going to have to talk about this game, but luckily I played a good amount today as well, and I'm glad I did because I thought I was just going to be too bored or uninterested to play something that is mostly story. But man, it's got its hooks in me. I'm going to continue to play this game for sure.
So again, is there like collateral damage?
You didn't say much, Chris Davis, but I know you played like an hour of it.
Yeah. I did like the prologue, and I started like the first character story, and that's it.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
So you
barely
not
started
much.
it.
You did not play much.
You're like Perception far into this.
No,
hey,
I
Perception,
played more of this than I played Perception.
Okay.
This is a game that I like Vanillaware games. I haven't played one since Muramasa probably. Do you think this is a game I would like?
If you've ever been maybe somewhat interested in a visual novel because you hear that they have really
I don't
cool,
think I've ever played
bonkers
one
stories.
that would qualify.
I know, but like a lot of visual novels, like I said, like their presentation is just kind of whatever. You're doing like this is fully voice acted, beautiful game, and a lot of visual novels are either not voice acted all that much, or they just look kind of bland, or maybe you're doing like some really bad like puzzle solving or some gameplay element that actually just kind of sucks. Here there is a gameplay element, but it's actually seems fun enough. But again, I can't.
Maybe I'll wait
I can't
until
recommend
after
this.
Are you going to finish it?
I can't recommend this game to someone who like really likes like Odin Sphere and Miramasa because it's just not that kind of game. But if you've ever played like Odin Sphere and really liked the cutscenes, like the story sequences, you might be into something like this. But sorry, what was your question, Nick?
You think you're going to finish it? I
I'm
kind
gonna finish
of
this.
want to
I
wait
don't
and see
think
if I can get an
can't-
answer about whether all that confusing shit starts to like make sense at some point.
Sure, for sure. And like again, me being confused with the names, I think that's gonna obviously be a non-issue after a certain point. But
I mean, I struggle with that kind of shit, like trying to keep track of all the names and like even like all kinds of like even fucking like Game of Thrones for the longest time. I had the hardest time keeping track of who was who in that. I still like when I'm reading the books, especially. I struggle with that. So like, I feel like I would have this problem here
when they're not names that you're used to hearing. It can be tough to kind of remember them until you've kind of seen them over and over and over and over, and until like Daenerys becomes like a household name, or you know what I'm saying, like when all of a sudden Tyrion versus like Tywin, especially when you get situations like that early on when names are it is troublesome when I'm watching like a foreign film or like a new anime that I'm not familiar with when they have two characters with similar sounding names. Like it gets so frustrating because I'm like, wait, which one is which?
I mean, Gigamir in chat says try not to think too much about the story, just focus on what's happening in the moment, and that will probably help.
And then it'll come together later. But again,
I just want to know if it does.
Like I'm playing as a character named Yukiko right here. Also, some people call her Yuki. Also, some people call her by her last name. Some people use Kun. Some people use San. Whatever the fuck. I mean, it's confusing.
That sounds hard to keep track of.
Also, different timelines. Also, she's like an undercover spy. So
sounds cool to me. All right. Well, well, let's keep us posted.
Sure.
I want to know how this comes together. All right, Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Are you the only one who's been playing Spelunky 2, or has Brad been?
Well,
Brad
I played a bunch of it when it first came out, but then I discovered Hades. But yeah.
All right. Well, the time has come. Spelunky, I know, is notoriously one of Nolan's. I would say it's safe to say it's probably one of your favorite games, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
the first one, sure.
Yeah.
I think
All right, so how's
obsession is a
Spelunky
better
2 going?
adjective.
What was that, Chris Davis?
I was saying I think obsession might be a better adjective to describe.
Is this one of Nolan's obsessions?
I would not say it's an obsession like Binding of Isaac was or something like that. I mean, the first one came out like fucking 6 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And I played a similar to Binding of Isaac. I did play a big chunk on console and on PC, so my times are kind of split. So it's kind of hard to keep track of how much I've played. But yeah, so 2 came out. I know it came out a couple of weeks ago on console, but it just came out like 2 days ago on PC, and I was waiting for the PC release. So I mean, I've only put in a couple. I don't know how long. Steam says 3 hours of the game. I believe this footage is like me first time playing it. Like I did like one level before I started playing it. So it's introducing a bunch of new mechanics and enemy types and kind of understanding things. They've added a lot from the first game. Obviously, a lot of the stuff from the OG game is in here. Your spiders, your bats, your fucking
real quick,
skeletons.
remind me the premise of Spelunky just in general, because I always get this confused with oh god,
Sure.
what's the other game where you're digging and you're going down?
Miner Dig Deep.
SteamWorld Dig. SteamWorld. Sorry, I guess there's a bunch of them.
SteamWorld Dig was a ripoff of Miner Dig Deep.
This is not like SteamWorld.
No. So this is not like SteamWorld Dig in that SteamWorld Dig was a kind of story-based game where you had a goal. Like in that, it was you're trying to earn money to get upgrades to, expand and get to, and blah blah blah. This is you. While there is kind of a goal, you're trying to. In this one, I believe you're trying to find your parents, who from the first game or whatever.
Yeah.
But your goal is not so much to like earn money so you can get to the next area. It's more so you're just trying to get to the very end kind of type deal. But along the way, there's varying paths you can take to do different things. I would say that Prince brings up a good point. SteamWorld Dig's more of a Metroidvania than this, where you're getting upgrades that you can progress in different ways. That doesn't happen in this. This is definitely a roguelike.
In the traditional sense, brutally difficult, start all over. That's
as soon as you die, when you restart, you don't have anything different. Like
you don't retain any of your
nothing at all
the first time.
Nope. Every single run is completely. I mean, there's a couple of things. I think
if you go back and forth on the webs, I think they go away.
It doesn't work like that in this game, Brad. You can't move. You have to jump. In the old game, I think you could wiggle, but it doesn't seem like it lets you do that in this. You just have to kind of jump a bunch.
One of the other things about Spelunky that's sort of famously Spelunky is how comically easy it is to die.
Oh yeah, dude! The slightest thing and you're gone. Falling onto those spikes that are below me there, instant death. There are certain enemies that will do 3 or even 4 damage to you, and when you start the game, you only have 4 health. So it's not like you have a bunch to spare. That being said, there are other things you can do to make your life easier. When in the first game, you could always find the girl, but I think eventually I don't know if they originally had just the girl, but they ended up adding the dog, and now in this, it randomizes what you find. That you can find a dog or a cat or a gerbil or whatever it is. And if you take them to the end of the level, you get extra health. Which makes it easier. But you can also, instead of taking them to the end of the level, maybe you sacrifice them at an altar, and potentially get a good reward for that. But the funny thing was, the shopkeeper, who was similar to the first game, I bought a random package from their shop, and I ended up getting some royal jelly. And the royal fucking jelly gave me 10 health or something like that, or 11 health, and dude, I was fucking set. That was the farthest I had gotten, and then I think I died, like Brad said, in a really dumb way.
Do you always kill the shopkeeper?
No, a lot of the time I do. It depends. If he has enough good stuff in the shop that I don't want to spend money on, then I will kill him. It just sucks because for the entire rest of the run, you can't use the shop. Also, at the end of the level, there is another shopkeeper waiting for you.
So, what does progression in a game like this look like? Is it just you do it over and over and over again until you finish a particular level, and then you just move on to the next
until you finish the game?
Process?
So one of the things that Spelunky does, I guess the only form of actual progression, is you can unlock shortcuts by bringing stuff to the people between the acts.
That is true.
And what that. But it's not really a shortcut in the traditional sense, because if you're actually trying to beat the game, you're not going to start from the shortcut. Really, they exist just to practice the later areas, kind of, to get comfortable with them. But when you do a run of Spelunky, it's going to be from the start, because you're going to need all that
the gold, currency, and you're going to need potentially getting items that help you. So like Brad said, right now I've gotten to the second area 2 or 3 times. I can't remember how many. And every time
I probably played 3 or 4 hours as well.
Every time you get there, you encounter someone, and they're like, hey, I'm trying to build a shortcut. Give me 2,000 gold. And hopefully you have 2,000 gold. If you were just at a shop and you spent all your money, you're fucked and you don't have any. But then, say you get the 2,000 gold. Now you go back again, and they're like, oh, I need 4 bombs or something like that. And well, fuck, I only have 3 bombs. It's kind of one of those things where if you don't have the items that they need to work on the shortcut, progress doesn't get made. But like Brad said, that shortcut is literally there to just help you get better at the next area. Because if you were to start, I don't remember how many areas were in the original game or are in this, because I've only been to the 2 areas. Yeah, 5. If you start at area 3 and try to get to the end, you're just not going to have enough to get there. Unless, it's one of those things where I say that. I'm sure there are fucking Spelunky experts out there who can fucking do it amazingly.
Yeah, but I've been hearing that this game feels quite a bit harder than the first game.
Yeah.
Also, the second area is not necessarily this. You have a choice.
Yes, that's true too.
When you get to 1-4, you can go to the lava area or the jungle area, and
So I've only ever been to the the jungle area so far. I've never been to the lava area.
Yeah, it's a doozy.
Yeah, I can imagine. But I mean, similar to the first game, there's the little idle heads or little like trap heads that shoot out arrows when you pass them. So you have to make sure you don't get too close. Otherwise, like that, it'll shoot a arrow at you. So you have to like time it or drop something in front of it to set it off. But like Brad said, this is definitely more difficult than the first game, leaps and bounds. And like the second area, they've added, just an array of new like traps and enemy types and things. Like now there are like, there's vines that you can go across, but now instead there's like fucking spiky vines that if you touch them at all, you take damage. And now there are objects that when you jump on them, like spikes pop out. And like there's a lot more that can fucking kill you in horrible ways, and just take a little damage.
Like you were, I couldn't tell if that was genuine frustration or if you were actually enjoying yourself despite the frustration earlier.
Spelunky's fun, dude.
Oh, no. So, ask Bernadette. The entire time I was playing it, I can't remember if it was last night or the night before, I was like, fuck this game. I hate this game. It's a piece of shit. I'm starting up another run. Like, it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's very frustrating because it's super disheartening. Like Brad said, a run can be going great, and all of a sudden you make one mistake, and then you're fucked. And oops, I made a mistake, and I hit this, and I accidentally fell, and now I hit some spikes, and I'm dead. Like
I've
super
never
quick.
played a game where it's easier to die than Spelunky.
So this is not a. Maybe I'm really making a mistake by making this comparison. And again, this is just one of those genres of games that I don't have a lot of experience with. Although I did buy Hades.
This is very different than Hades.
I know, but it's a roguelite. I'm gonna finally dabble in it a little. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But so we were talking about how frustrating it was to play a level in Super Mario Sunshine, run out of lives, and be sent back to Delfino Plaza. This sounds infinitely more frustrating than that because you play for like however long in a single run, you get really far, and then you make one mistake, and all of a sudden you're
a single run in Spelunky is not long at all.
Yeah,
it's sort of balanced out by the fact that you can die really quickly, but like the speed runs for Spelunky, I think people have already beaten this game in like 4 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, with like the teleporter
I don't understand.
or whatever. Yeah.
There's lots of. It's one of those situations where similar. Okay, let's compare it to Hades.
For first Sunshine, first of all, you got to understand that like Sunshine's the same every time. This is a roguelike, which means it's different every time.
Yes,
it's the idea.
See, that's something I wasn't taking into consideration.
So that's what I wanted to bring up is that. Similar to Hades in the sense that it's randomized, you can get an item that helps you, and you get a combination of items. And I don't want to say it makes the game easy, but look at that, dude! I was fucking on easy street, now I'm dead, like fucking instant. I forgot there was a shopkeeper down there, but it didn't matter that there was a shopkeeper at the exit. I might have still been able to made it, but there was also a shop near the exit. So now instead of one guy with a shotgun, there's fucking two. And like I said, the thing that's also frustrating about this game is when you get hit, you take, 1 damage. All right, well now I'm down to 3 health. The problem is if it's a certain enemy that's fast enough, they'll keep hitting you over and over, and every hit takes away a life. But if I were to hit an enemy and they go down, I can't hit them again, and it's super fucking frustrating. But what I was saying, yeah, there's me dead again.
Did you impale your head on spikes?
Yeah, it happens.
No matter how much health you have, by the way.
That was gruesome.
The level regeneration is
so
really nice, though.
This has such a charming look to it, and then I look over and it's like going all Tomb Raider on its death scene.
Yep. But like I said, similar to Hades, you get a good combination of items. You get like a fucking jetpack early on. You get, like Brad said, like a teleporter, or say, now I'm fucked because I accidentally let the ghost out, and I know I'm gonna fucking die.
Is that what that chill down your spine message was earlier?
Yes. So unlike in the original game, after I think 2.5 minutes, which I think has been up to 3 minutes in this one, the ghost shows up. So it's kind of like an encouraging thing to like, hey, don't spend all your time trying to explore every inch of a level, because if you do, eventually this ghost shows up, and if it touches you, it's instant death. It's not like, oh, I'll take a little damage. Like you die.
How ghosts work.
Yeah. And so
how do you know?
What's up, Brad?
Well, how does he know? Maybe that's exactly how ghosts work.
Yeah, you're right.
And so in this, every level has like a little pot with a ghost on it, a little ghost symbol. And if you break that pot, you instantly get, I can't remember how much, it's like 10,000. You get a decent amount of like money from that gem that gets created. But that also instantly calls like the ghost. And so you have to basically, I need to know where the exit is so I can get out real fucking quick. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where no matter how frustrated I get with the game, I still fucking, spin up another run. Yeah, it's still fun. It's still satisfying when you get to a new area or new level and, you make progress. I have very fond memories of the first game, I think in like the ice area or whatever, which is fun. But the problem with that area is there's all these like very, very well disguised little like spring traps that when you touch them, it flings you. And like the problem with this game is you cannot take a leap of faith into the unknown. That is not a thing you can do in this game because, like you said, those spikes, those pits, there's just so much shit that can fucking just come out of nowhere and hit you and do damage, and so you can't just be going around fucking willy-nilly. It's a recipe for disaster. What's up, Brad?
Did you know you can drop a rope down into spikes and just...
You know what? I do remember that
spikes
now.
From a rope.
I forgot that was a thing. That was a thing in the first game. Yes, I do remember that now. Thank you for reminding me. I will probably use that.
Because there's always stuff down there in spike pits.
Oh, yeah. Always. But yeah, there's an example of that little jar that has the skeleton or the ghost on it. And so I know if I break it, I'll get, a bunch of money, but then the ghost will come. And so... But I know I've already killed the shopkeeper on this run, so there's a shopkeeper near the exit that has a shotgun waiting for me to show up so he can kill me. And so, but, I want to get the dog to the exit so I can get extra health because I only have 1 health, which means any single hit right now will instant death for me.
He killed the dog.
Not yet. Now the dog's dead.
Yeah, he killed it.
So now I don't get my extra health.
Up.
And so now I got to do like a timing thing where I want to land on the exit and immediately leave so the fucking thing can't get me. But the problem was I accidentally had a parachute, which, activated, which fucked up my landing. I made it, but I guarantee you I'm going to fucking die. I think this is the first time I got this far in the game because I remember this, that you hear the drums or whatever. Maybe the second time, I can't remember. Because this is the first time... I don't believe in the original game they had this where there's like kind of mini bosses... that show up. And so in this, I don't think I got to it earlier in the footage, but there's this fucking big, like, I don't know how to describe him, like, tribal guy who fucking, like, rolls around and causes all this damage, and you have to fucking, like, fight. I mean, I guess you don't technically have to fight him, you can just run away from him, but the benefit of fighting him is if you were able to defeat him, you get some extra health and, like, bombs and stuff. So yes, you do want to fight him because it's beneficial, especially when you have like 1 heart or 1 little life. It's beneficial to get another one.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
So I'm watching this footage and
instant death.
I see the appeal. I see because because it's randomized, obviously, and it's just like there's so many different abilities and items and shit at your disposal. I can see how like every single run of this game would be.
It's very unique. You get items that, now your bombs are sticky, so when you throw them, they stick to things. Oh, now you get the catcher's mitt, which makes you throw things very far. Instead of just throwing them at an angle and they eventually kind of fall, they just go straight and they fucking do damage. You have boots that make you jump higher. You have boots that give you spikes, so you do more damage when you jump on things. You have a jetpack that lets you float around. In this, they introduced the fucking, like, power pack, which means your bombs are bigger and they do more damage. Your whip is now on fire, and when you have a weapon, it does more damage. Like, there's, like... And that's the thing, is I've just scratched the surface of the new shit they've introduced. Like, there's a bunch, and it definitely makes runs unique. It definitely introduces you to new things every time that's like, I've never seen that before. And it kind of changes up your gameplay, and it encourages you to not just... do the same thing every time, but to try new things, to, but don't forget, you probably always want to run around with a rock if you can, because it's very beneficial to have something you can throw to set off traps or to damage enemies, or it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things where Spelunky is a game I do love, but it's also a game I understand I will never be an expert at, because the amount of time it would take to become an expert at this game is not I don't have that kind of time.
Well, I saw that you knew about the backwards hitbox.
So that is something that's been there since the first game. That when you swing your whip, you first swing it backwards, so you hit anything right behind you and above you first, which is
pretty cool.
It's very useful for bats because the way bats fly at you, if you miss your whip swing forwards and you do it too early, they hit you, and so it is way more beneficial to get them on the backswing than it is on the forwards.
That's pretty cool.
But I would definitely recommend checking out Spelunky if you never have.
I mean, this game is getting like amazing reviews, across the board. So
yeah,
it's a beloved franchise. And
definitely.
More Spelunky.
More of a great game. Yeah, you can ride turkeys. Yeah, that wasn't in the first game.
Sold.
Also, you can burn them.
You can either set them on fire or blow them up, and then it's like a fried turkey, and then you can eat it and get some health.
Yeah.
Awesome.
AJ Dambrog, who I've never known how to pronounce their name in however many years they've been one of our supporters, or at least a viewer on Twitch, asks how much did they change from the original. The core concept is the same, but they've added a lot. Is the short and simple answer.
It looks like they've just layered all kinds of new stuff on top of what was of the foundation that was already there, and cleaned up the presentation a little bit. I think it looks really crisp.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember a ton about how the first game looked, but I remember this seems like an improvement, I think.
It is.
Cool.
Also, Hades is a very different type of game, even though
I know. I didn't necessarily mean to draw. It was more of just
it's a
I'm gonna play a roguelike or a roguelite, which I have never really done before. So
I've never played any of the Spelunky games, but there are multiple characters, right?
Yeah, that doesn't really change too much though. You can find other characters throughout the world, and it's more of just like a skin. They just look different.
They don't like special abilities or anything like that.
Not to my knowledge. I don't know if they added that in this one, but I don't believe the first one had that.
Okay.
Cool. Well, let us know how it goes.
I will.
Going.
I'm definitely going to keep
play
playing.
A bunch more of this.
Probably. It's much better than Super Mario Sunshine.
Damn, still taking pot shots at Mario Sunshine.
It's not. I wouldn't call it a pot shot.
I think that's kind of
deserving. There's a level you have to ride like a boat or something to get to.
Wait, what?
Did you get to that one? Oh my god! There's one. It's out on this little island, and you need.
I just did the Sandbird before we.
Nick is not very far in Sunshine.
I have not been playing a ton of Sunshine. I haven't been playing a ton of Sunshine because I've been playing a lot of the game I'm about to talk about, Mafia Definitive Edition.
It's easy to find a game that's better than Sunshine that you want to play. So I mean,
it's very easy.
Damn, Nolan. I'm enjoying it still. I know I will eventually get to the point where that changes, but for now I'm just going to enjoy the honeymoon period I'm having with Sunshine. Okay. Yes, I've been playing. I played all the way through Mafia Definitive Edition. If you recall, they announced this. I don't remember, like 3 or 4 months ago, and strange release way they did this. They released a collection of all 3 games remastered. You could play 2 and 3 immediately, but the remake of 1, which is a full-blown, ground-up remake of the original Mafia, which came out in 2002, I think.
Sounds right.
Yeah, so that came out this past week, and I played all the way through it.
How long is that game if you already played all the way through?
About 12, 13 hours.
Wow.
So what's strange, and I mean, honestly, this is kind of par for the course especially the first 2 Mafias. And I played Mafia 2 earlier this year, and Mafia 2 is kind of the same way. And what's strange about it is because you look at it and you think, oh, this is an open world game, kind kind of like
what's
Grand
that,
Theft
Nick?
Auto.
That's a disconnect.
What? Sorry, I lost.
You think this game sucks?
Damn it, I'm back now.
So you were saying that
sorry.
this game sucks, Nick, is what you're...
Damn it. I apologize. It's my fucking internet. It's probably my fucking internet striking again. But anyways, you look at this game and you immediately think, okay, this is like an open world game. It's like, a GTA style game. So you immediately think, oh, there's going to be tons of content. It's an open city. There's tons of stuff to do. It's really not like that at all. Like, this is what's unique about the Mafia games is that the openness is really there to do nothing more than like create a realistic like backdrop.
Is it almost like LA Noire-esque? In that sense that there's a big world that you can drive around in, but there's nothing really to do in that world except for go from point A to point B.
The thing is, in LA Noire, in LA Noire, you can drive around the world kind of freely, even though there's nothing else to do. In this game, there is a separate mode called Free Roam or Free Ride, I think, where you can actually ride around the city. If you're not in that mode, it is literally a linear story progression. It goes to a cutscene, it sets up a mission, you drive to this point, the mission continues. If you veer off that point, it tells you to return to the mission zone, blah blah blah. So really, like, the city itself is just kind of there to look pretty and look realistic and create a vibe, remind you of a period in time, because this takes place shortly after the Great Depression.
So and, 30s maybe? 1920s?
Yeah, late 1930s. Actually, like the story it tells spans like from the late 1930s or early 1930s through all the way through like the early 40s, mid 40s, I think. It's so it jumps around in time a lot, and it's like 15 or 16 missions, and they're all kind of they're all kind of set piecey. Like they're all a little bit different, but and most of the time it devolves into what you would probably expect, which is cover-based shooting. But what this game has done that kind of surprised me, and honestly, so there's one mission in the original game that everybody kept warning me about. Everybody kept talking about, like, oh my god, the race. And there's a race car sequence in this game, and in the first game, it's like notorious for being just balls hard, and like it made people like quit the game. And it's like mission like 5 or something.
It's like NASCAR.
Kinda. I mean, yeah, a little bit. It's like I don't know what the word is to describe it. Like derby race. I don't know, but like super fast cars. And it was balls hard. So I was really kind of dreading it, but I got to it. I actually did this mission on the stream the other day, and I ended up loving that mission. Like, straight up might be like one of my favorite moments of the year. And it's because there's no rubber banding. It is, and I don't know if I've never played the first one, the original, so I don't know if there's rubber banding in that, but like this is literally like just pure driving ability. If you can take these hard turns correctly, if you at high rates of speed, and like knock dudes into stuff and get ahead of them, like you are golden. It still took me like 5 or 6 tries to get it right, but like there was never a moment where it's like all of a sudden I was like way in the lead, and then all of a sudden like all these people are just like catching up to me instantly. So like
that's cool. I mean, there's nothing worse than the scripted stuff in GTA.
Wait, say again?
I hate it. And there's nothing worse than the scripted stuff in GTA.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and
cool.
I feel like this really broke the mold there. But like that was just one example of like ways this game doesn't break a lot of new ground. Like I don't think it's anything particularly. We were talking about that before the show because Nolan asked if he should play this, and it was kind of like it's hard to recommend. It's not like something new. It's a linear story that is one really well told and really well acted, but also like super predictable as far as like it is an age-old mafia story. It is so like you can kind of see like backstabs coming and like the kinds of things that are happening. Like the Don is doing these shady business deals that the people like you and the other people working for him aren't really okay with, and like it starts like just shit like that you see in like mafia movies and TV shows all the time, like super predictable stuff. Yeah, exactly. Like
cement shoes.
Yeah, dude. It's all
on the day of my daughter's wedding.
But doing business with the minority.
But it's so good. Yeah. Like the acting is really fucking good, and it's honestly, visually speaking, it's a beautiful game. Like they rebuilt that game almost. I don't know if it's like frame for frame or holy shit, what the fuck just happened in chat? But like Jack actually sent, because I was talking with Jack in Discord and Twitter about the game because he's playing it, and he was out. Jack, this is a game that Jack played back in the day and he loved. And he sent me a video because he was watching me stream one of the levels, and he was like, "Wow, it's crazy how similar it is, but and how true it is to the original game." He sent me a video of him playing that original mission that I had just played in the stream, and it's like it's almost 1-to-1 it seems like, but like they completely redid it's new voice actors that are really excellent. They've redone all the cutscenes from the ground up, all new assets, everything. Like, it's a really impressive fucking remake. And like, but everything else is kind of par for the course. The shooting is very. If you've played Mafia 2 or Mafia 3, I think the shooting is. It's comparable to Rockstar. I would say, like, you could press a button to snap to cover. You can, if you press, hold left trigger, he'll pop out of cover to like aim down the sights. If you don't, he'll just, do random pop shots over the edge of cover, stuff like that. But like the ragdoll physics, the way people react when they take shots, really satisfying. There's not really much more I could say about it, other than if you're into this kind of story. It's absolutely worth playing. I don't know if I would recommend picking up like the whole collection, especially considering Mafia 3 is still so new that like you're really getting no benefit from the quote unquote remaster. This is more of a situation where I'd probably just say buy the standalone Mafia 1 remake and play that, because that's where isn't it see the most change.
And maybe I'll do that. I was looking at it the other day, and like the standalone Mafia Definitive Edition is like $40. But then you can get all three. Yeah, you can get all three for like $55. And I'm like, well, is it worth an extra $15 for two more games?
Mafia 2 is still pretty good.
So, so hold on. Take a step back. I thought people liked Mafia 3.
They do. In fact, I like it a lot too.
The funny thing is I have a
different
fucking
type of game.
I have a new Bordeaux shirt that I got from like a fucking E3 or something like that.
E3, yeah.
Yeah, that I wear not all the time, but I wear a decent amount. But I fucking never played a Mafia game, and I just remember being surprised when 3 came out how many people actually liked it.
It's a good game. The problem is it has like open world bloat that the other games don't. It's very much like it's like an Ubisoftification of.
Well, so is it open world bloat that you have to do, or it's just an option, and if you choose not to do it, you're fine?
It's been a while since I played it.
Like, the main missions are pretty strong, and I feel like the combat is pretty fun in those games. Maybe more fun than these games, and just because you get a lot of like exaggerated feedback, and you're also like the setting's cool, and you're like killing racists.
The one thing I said about
Mafia
1 and 2 that I wouldn't necessarily say about 3, and I think that's a good thing, is that the story and the characters that are presented in Mafia 3 are not what I would typically expect from this kind of story. Like Mafia 1 or 2 are like so clearly drawing inspiration from like famous Mafia movies, and there's stories you've seen 1,000 times just kind of retold. Mafia 3 is like just kind of a dramatic departure story-wise, I would say, and for the better. I think it's a very unique premise, and I was really enjoying it. I tend to get really distracted by the stuff on the periphery in these open world games, even if I'm telling myself I'm just going to focus on the main story, which is probably to my undoing. It's probably why I didn't finish Mafia 3.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm sure you can probably absolutely just beeline through the story in Mafia 3. If the price difference isn't that big, then just get all 3 of them and give Mafia 3 a try.
Okay.
But yeah, there is a lot of bloat.
I might do that.
I hear it did get better after a number of patches.
I would imagine so. You mean Mafia 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I haven't played it since it launched, so I don't know what it looks like now. But they probably made some improvements to it. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. It's a Mafia 1 remake is like it's a good game you can play over a weekend.
Did you experience a lot of bugs? I think one thing I did end up looking up was I saw that this game, I think it was this one, had like mixed Steam reviews. And I was reading a bunch of them, and I don't know if it was just people being butthurt, because a bunch of the reviews were like, bad game, thumbs down, and that was it. And it's like, well, that's not a review, and I don't think Steam should like almost allow that, because like if you're gonna leave a review, like, well, tell me what you didn't like about it. Like I was very confused, and I think maybe it was just people who were like, I think I read a couple that was like, it's barely improved from the original or some shit like that.
That's bullshit. I mean,
so hold on, maybe that was like Mafia like 2 or 3 definitive. Maybe I was looking at one of those.
That might be the case. Mafia 2 definitive edition is, as far as I can tell, kind of indistinguishable from like the Xbox 360 version that I played a little bit of back in the day. It looks a little bit smoother because it's on PC, but I wouldn't say there's any dramatic improvements to it. That was just my first time playing that game.
I think you're thinking of the second one. The second one's the one that's mixed. This one is actually got very good on Steam.
Gotcha.
So,
okay, yeah. maybe I because I was curious about it and I kind of looked it up like prices earlier just because I knew we were going to talk about it today. And okay, so it was the second one that had like the third one. And the third one,
they're both mixed because they're just really lazy ports basically, and this is the only one that's worth the effort that they put into it.
Right.
But I think it's one of those.
Don't get me wrong, they put a lot of good effort into this one.
I guess maybe people are maybe mad because they bought the original and then bought this and it wasn't improved enough, I guess. Because like I think if a person like me were to pick up this one, like I couldn't be like, oh, bad port, because I've never played it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I never played the original one.
It's not even that it's a bad port; it's that it's just a port.
Yeah,
like it's just a port. As far as bugs though, I didn't run into much in this game. Honestly, this game for the most part was smooth as butter for me. There were a few instances where I think a dude, like his head turned around, like an NPC's head, like turned a little too far, and I was like, "That's a little strange." But I think that's about the extent of it. Otherwise, great experience, great fucking experience, especially if you're okay just playing a game that's like not groundbreaking in any real way, but like solid, just really fucking solid all the way around. Do we have anything else we want to talk about tonight before we take a break? I think that was kind of it on the dock. Sounds like a no.
That's all I got.
I mean, I could say briefly that I finished Hades.
Oh, I did start Hades,
which is something I didn't expect to do, but I kind of obsessed over it and I played it way too much, and I finished it. Which you can beat the final boss, but that's not beating the game. You have to keep going, and they contextualize it with the story, and it's really well done.
And that's
honestly,
what you did. You
the way the storytelling is handled in Hades is, I think, kind of revolutionary, especially for this type of game. And it's perfect. It's perfect. And the getting the true ending and that fight for the true ending is very rewarding, and it makes sense in the context of the story. So all I can say is everyone should play Hades, even if you don't like or think you don't like roguelikes, or if you don't even like Supergiant's other games. Doesn't matter. Play Hades. It's that good.
Damn, I did not expect Hades to become like this like game that everybody was raving about.
I didn't expect it to either. I mean, I was always going to wait till 1.0, but I mean, I like Supergiant games, but I've never been like, I didn't finish Pyre. I thought Transistor was just okay. I really like Bastion, but this thing is wonderful. I mean, I put 35 hours into this game already.
Holy hell!
And I don't intend to stop.
I'm not super far into it. Hold on, I have my Steam still up. So I've only put 72 minutes. So I've not played that far. I have beaten Meg. That was the only thing I've done, and then not too long afterwards I died. So that's as far as I've gotten.
You just saying Meg makes me so happy because I've established this relationship with this character from run to run to run, and it never stops. There's an incredible amount of like writing and voice acting in this game. You would find it you wouldn't even believe, because of the type of game that it is.
Here's a question I have: do you think the success of Hades? Because I feel like this game is. Maybe it's too early to tell. It seems like it's getting more word of mouth, and it's picking up steam faster than any other previous projects.
I don't think it's like outsold Bastion yet, but it most assuredly
it's on track to. Do you think the success of this game will have long-lasting impact on the kinds of games that Supergiant makes?
No, I don't think so. Because I think they're always trying to make something new, and when they have a hit like this, that kind of gives them the financial freedom to kind of keep making newer weird shit. My guess is they probably will. I watched all the NoClip, who does like documentary series on video game studios, did one on Hades. Like the day they announced Hades was the day that the Epic Game Store went live, and it was also the day that they announced that NoClip's going to be doing like a series of documentaries for Hades, as it was in early access for a couple of years or whatever. Which, from what I heard, it was just a really, really great early access. They also did a doc for like their other games, Bastion and Transistor and Pyre, and I watched all those last weekend. And I mean, I just really, really admire Supergiant even more. It's just like a really, really cool studio. And I think they're always going to like surprise people with cool shit. Like I thought this was going to be like, when Hades was first announced, I was like, this is Supergiant coming off of Pyre, which is their worst selling game and their weirdest game. They wanted to do something very safe. It launched in early access. It was just an action roguelike. And I thought it was going to be like their like least interesting game because of it, quote unquote interesting. But man, it surprised me. It'll surprise you too with like the way it mixes things up and the way that story develops. It's cool. It's a cool game. And if you have any fondness for like Greek mythology and stuff, you'll be really into it as well. Oh, and the music. You know how Supergiant always has great music moments?
Oh yeah.
This game has great music moments, but you have to build those relationships to even get to that point. And when you see the characters, like you'll know. If you know a little bit about Greek mythology, you'll kind of see where some of this stuff is going. When you see Orpheus and Eurydice, for example, and you know maybe that story, and you're like, oh, I know where this is going. I need to develop this relationship, and it's cool. It's fucking cool. I love this game. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I picked it up today, so I'm looking forward to trying it. October's gonna be a busy month. I have so many games I want to play this month, but I'm gonna find some time for Hades. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about the strange news that we didn't get a chance to talk about last week, which is Amazon announced a new cloud gaming service to compete with Stadia called Luna. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll answer some questions from supporters on Patreon and Twitch. We'll do a supporter spotlight, and of course, we will wrap up with the 4-Player Minute. So if you're watching us live, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Next, I want to talk about something that actually happened I think the day we recorded the show last week, so we didn't really get a chance to talk about it much. Amazon, was this like a surprise announcement? I didn't hear any...
It definitely was.
Basically, any prep going into this. It was just all of a sudden, hey, surprise, Amazon is announcing a new cloud gaming platform, basically as a direct competitor to Google Stadia. It kind of came out of nowhere. It's called Luna, Amazon Luna, and I don't really know what to make of this. I haven't really seen anybody. I feel like the discussion around this thing kind of just died almost as fast as it happened.
I think the problem is no one really knows anything about it. You can sign up for it, and I did sign up for it.
It has a controller.
Yeah, it has a controller. I think even when you sign up for it, like to do their testing to help them out and stuff, it's not free. You still have to pay for it. I want to say it's like $6 a month or something like that.
It's $6 a month. And it sounds like, as I understand it, it's $6 a month that gets you access to a bunch of games just for paying that $6 a month. But there are what they're calling like premium partners, like Ubisoft, where you have to pay extra for the games. So I would assume if you wanted to play like Assassin's Creed Valhalla on this platform on Luna, you would have to pay for that game. I don't know if you'd be paying full price. I don't think they've made that clear yet.
Yeah,
but you'd be paying more to play that game in addition to the $6 you're already paying for the subscription service.
I'm sure they'll maybe have incentives that will try to get you to do it that way instead of buying it on the console or whatever. But I mean, I think a lot of people are just going to be concerned because Stadia kind of ended up being a big wet fart. Like, it's one of those things where even like someone like me with very good internet speeds, like, I did not have the best time playing that game. Like, it was okay, but it was definitely not a stable, locked frame rate, high bit rate experience that I would have gotten if I could just run the game on my local
How was
computer.
latency on Stadia? I know we talked about it a bit.
It varied. Early on, it was horrible. It got better towards like them kind of wrapping up all of their testing. But I haven't played it recently. I mean, I don't think I have access to it anymore. I'd have to like get back into it because I just did it as part of like their beta testing. but it was almost kind of hit or miss. Like there were times where I felt like it was okay and I could play the game, but there were other times where like the lag was just enough that it was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Stadia is such a fucking train wreck.
Like,
This Luna thing had to have been like so far along to where
there's not like, well, Stadia bombed. We had to like, there's no way they were going to be like, well, we're going to go ahead and just cancel what we were working on. They have to kind of do something with it.
I mean, look, it is the future, right? Whether we like
the good
it
thing
or
is
not.
the good thing is that they waited long enough to announce this, that they had already seen exactly what had happened with Stadia, and they could learn from Stadia's launch and the mistakes, and maybe pivot to address some of those issues. Although I still feel like the underlying issue with Stadia always comes down to people's internet. Right?
Oh, 100%. That's definitely. No. I mean, that's a huge
not just
part
that.
of it.
It's that you have to buy the games.
That's
the real reason.
Well, yes and no, Brad. Like the problem is, me with a good internet, I did not have a great experience playing those. I know that I have better internet than like Nick, let's say. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those things. That's one of those things where if me being a person who's not like fucking in the range of Google, what's Google's internet called?
Fiber.
I'm not right next to them, so I don't have that. Are those the only fucking people who can have a reliable experience playing these games? You know, I definitely know. I've known of other people who've literally lived, you know, blocks away from like actual ISP like headquarters, and they get amazing internet. Are those the only people who are allowed? It's one of those things. I don't live in the boondocks. You know what I'm saying? Like I live like in a fairly major area, and I have good internet. Yet I had a horrible experience streaming games. Like, yeah. I understand that this is the future, but I don't think this is the future today. I think this is the future still a ways down the road.
It does definitely seem like another case of, you know, release. They're putting the cart before the horse a little bit. You know what I mean? Like this is where we're going, but are we there yet?
It up so bad, yeah.
They did.
Somebody has to do it first.
I mean, I do feel like, first of all, I think Amazon is going to get a lot more people right out of the gate to try it because the price of entry is so much lower, because you're not having to pay for the games and all the games in addition to this. Like $6 a month seems totally reasonable if you know it's going to come with a bunch of games. What those games are, we don't really know yet, and I don't know if this is going to be a platform that's going to have exclusives on it. I feel like Stadia probably would have scared away, like the reaction to Stadia probably should have scared away most publishers from wanting to release exclusively on a platform like that. So
maybe, yeah.
Hold on. Microsoft in Game Pass though.
Gigamere, you bring up like having invested in AWS makes that not a big risk for them. You realize that Google has their own cloud computing service too that was behind Stadia. Like Google, like their cloud computing is not like it's not like two computers running in a basement somewhere. They have a fairly large infrastructure in the cloud. And that's the same thing with Microsoft, which is why Microsoft is pushing their xCloud or whatever for doing that. All three of the company, I think even Intel might have their own cloud computing thing, but a lot of major companies have like cloud computing. I mean, because don't get me wrong, cloud computing is 100% the future. That is where technology is going. And so it's one of those situations where me and Ed and I were kind of talking about it a little bit last week with Microsoft and their Azure, which is Microsoft's cloud computing. They are literally looking for ways to monetize their computing infrastructure in any way possible, which makes sense that Amazon would want to do this. Why not spend a little bit of money to try and make more money by having, you know, a potential streaming game service?
I keep starting to think about like how devoted is Google to, or how serious is Google about wanting to compete in the gaming industry.
Well, I may have a hint for you right there. The latest Chromecast that's just come out is not compatible with Stadia.
Yeah, that seems...
A new Chromecast came out?
Yeah, and evidently it does not work with Stadia.
Is it good?
It doesn't work with Stadia. I mean, that doesn't really mean anything.
Was it designed to work with Stadia? I just haven't heard about this.
But But I kept thinking about like we are talking about Amazon here, and I keep thinking to myself like, how serious is Amazon about wanting to compete in the gaming sector? Like,
because their game development has been kind of a disaster, right?
It has been, but they both. It seems like both these companies went in a rather serious way, and I wonder if the same thing starts to happen with Luna, is Amazon going to be just as quick to kind of like pivot away from it, or what? I don't know.
So Amazon, we know Amazon's going to have at least 2 games in probably the next 2 years. They've got New World, which is their MMO.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah, and then they've got whatever Double Helix is working on.
There was the game that came out and was so bad that they decided that it wasn't going to be out anymore. Crucible, I think it was called.
They keep talking about like 4K 60 frames per second is going to vary on a game by game basis, but it's also going to vary dramatically based on people's internet connections. It's just this whole thing seems premature. Like I don't know. When is Luna even supposed to launch? I don't see anything. I haven't found anything about like potential release date. Are they aiming for this year?
Let me check my email from them. If it says like dates or anything. Thank you for requesting early access. We're excited to consider you one of the first customers due to the high volume. Nope, didn't say anything about dates.
So probably not this year. Which honestly, they probably don't want to release this thing side by side with new console hardware.
That's a risky move, yeah.
Well, according to Wikipedia here, Amazon Luna is going to launch with 100 games in this month.
What?
This month.
This month? That seems fucking weird. Well, anyways, I don't know how much else there is to say about that. Wow, I clicked on Amazon Luna link on Google, and it took me to a bunch of sleep aids called Luna. Where the fuck?
That's
not what I wanted. Thing. Here we go. Yeah, so I don't know. This is weird. Came out of nowhere. We're gonna see how this goes. It sounds like Nolan's already preparing to do his. You did a good test of Stadia when that.
Dude, I played a good 20 hours of Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
You played 20
Stadia.
hours of it on Stadia?
Something like that, yeah. And when it was in beta. I played a pretty good chunk. Not all of that was great experience.
Someone should do a more current test of that stuff.
I would have to sign up for it again. I mean,
it's not easy to do.
Well, I have no idea how much it even cost. How much does Stadia?
Oh my god! Stadia.
Is there any way Stadia is going to last much longer? Like
it's $10 a month. Dude, I'll sign up for it again.
I want to know what the numbers are with Stadia now. I feel like they're probably atrocious.
I'll sign up for it again and let y'all know how it goes.
They're probably not even reporting the numbers.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't want to, given how it's been going.
Oh wait, no, but you have to buy the games too, though, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to fucking buy a game I already own or some shit.
Do it, Nolan. Do it for the good of the site. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that.
Like, the problem is, like, I don't want to test it out with, like, I'm looking at their games right now. I don't want to test it out with Steam World Dig. I'm sure that's a fairly easy game. Like, that's, like, a low... Like, I would want to try it out with, like, a fucking, like, Red Dead Redemption 2, but I don't want to fucking buy that game again.
By the way, looking at Amazon's listing for this, it says that $5.99 price point, the $6, is early access pricing for Luna. So who knows if that's what it's actually going to cost once that thing is out in the wild.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of question marks out there. So who knows how that's going to go. But yeah, I guess we'll probably return to that when Nolan has a chance to take it for a spin. But now I guess we can... Are you ready to answer some questions from our supporters?
Hells yeah.
I mean, I guess.
Do it, Nolan. Make it happen.
Make it so. All right. First question this week from Thorax. Chris David. Do you
Is
think...
that really what he
Who's
wrote?
that?
Yes. Do you think a Chaos Theory remake could work if you give the enemies the AI used in The Last of Us 2?
I put that on there for you, Chris David. That's my birthday gift to you.
Well, thank you. I would say yes and no. In theory, it would work, but you couldn't have the movement systems and level design of Chaos Theory work for that. Because Chaos Theory, on the whole, is fairly linear in its level design. And it also has a whole lot less enemies going on than in a typical encounter in Last of Us. It could work. I think you would have to dumb down the AI a bit. You would have to expand the levels, and you would have to give better mobility to Sam in order to make that happen.
That sounds like a lot of caveats, so it sounds like the answer is no. To be totally honest.
At the end of the day, remake...
you did specifically say you would have to dumb down the AI, in which case then it would no longer be the AI from The Last of Us 2.
Well,
I feel like what they would also need to do is give you the ability to tag enemies and then just hit a button and instantly headshot all of them.
You cynical son of a bitch.
Yeah, you are very cynical about that. No, when I say dumb down, I really mean more like you can't have them go into those active search patterns in the same way, because in Chaos Theory it was a very, very simple 3-stage alarm system with enemies getting upgrades as you keep getting caught. And I don't think that would really work with how the base AI works in The Last of Us. So I think you would have to kind of restructure how you approach that. It can't be exactly the same AI, but you could have the similar search patterns going on. Yes.
I always feel like AI in games, everyone talks about, oh, the AI is so good or the AI is so bad. And it's almost like, guys, I feel like if the AI was amazing in a lot of games, it would in some cases ruin the experience. You know what I mean? Like AI is
good. AI doesn't mean realistic AI.
That is true. That there is a distinction to be made there. I just feel like some people, when people say stuff like that, they're talking about AI being dumb, not necessarily about they're not really making that distinction. They're just saying, oh, these people are making these NPCs are making dumb decisions. The AI is bad, but it's like imagine if they were suddenly making all these really smart decisions and. If the game wasn't open enough to allow you as a player to react accordingly and avoid or to counteract their super smart decisions, it would just be frustrating. Like, games are supposed to be fun. And I know that doesn't apply to all games. That's just like something I see.
I mean, think about
complaint that I think comes up.
Think about like a Dark Souls or Dark Souls 2 or whatever, where you're playing the game and all of a sudden another player comes into your world, and now that's the AI you're fighting against is literally another person. Sometimes that's fine. Sometimes it's really fucking frustrating because you were having like a really good run or something.
And now this dude who's better than me is here.
Yeah.
You know what? That just reminded me. Do you think, what was it called? Like the old monk or some shit? There was that boss in Demon Souls. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's a spoiler. Maybe I shouldn't even talk about it.
Yeah, maybe don't.
There is a boss in Demon Souls that had a really unique mechanic that I wonder if they're going to do in the remake. And people who've played Demon Souls know what I'm talking about. The one with the really weird hat.
I mean, is there a reason why you think they wouldn't do it? I mean, it is a
because it was a pretty unique element to that.
But is there anything about the time or the hardware it's on that you think would make that impossible or something?
Well, it's just it's mostly because I can't think of any other game that's ever done something like that. So if the remake also doesn't do it, I wouldn't be too surprised.
I mean, I just feel like if you're going to bother to remake something, the last thing you would want to do is remove the interesting elements from the game that you're remaking.
It's just, again, I'm sure they want to do it. I don't know if they're going to do it.
Gotcha. All right. Next question, Nolan.
Alrighty, moving on. Question number 2 from Ash from the Burdekin.
Is that how that's pronounced? That's in Australia, by the way. I looked that up.
Are you guys ever going to do live action videos again?
I think you meant live action. Love action is a totally different thing, and
I mean, why not both?
We can't get away with that on Twitch.
I know they were probably a hassle with everyone's schedules, but Nick's face when he ripped that shower curtain across is burnt into memory.
Okay, first of all, I'm struggling to remember what video we did with the shower curtain. Can somebody remind me? What was the gag?
I have no idea.
I don't remember.
Nobody here knows?
Oh, I think there was like dream sequences or something.
I was in a video with a shower sequence and I don't even remember it.
Like we did like some videos where there was the one where I was with the dude in the bear suit.
Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Remember David was wearing a bear suit and we were like getting ice cream and
this was all before my time.
That's a deep cut. That's a long time ago.
I think honestly back then, like either a bunch of us either had more lenient schedules and or were in college, and it was one of those things where it's like free time was more abundant. And
not
also
just that, but
energy levels were higher.
Yeah, not just that,
now.
but I think David specifically kind of drove a lot of the excitement for that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was like the one who really wanted us to do those things. So not that we don't enjoy it.
Sorry, I dropped again. We talking about David?
Yeah.
Yeah, David was kind of the instigator in a lot of that stuff. I will say we've obviously done a few videos.
We've done a few.
We did one last year.
Yeah, and they're a lot of fun. They can be frustrating when conceptually speaking, it's like, hey, we have an afternoon, we can all get together to do one of these videos, and it's kind of like, because that's our time to do it, like we often show up with just the most basic of concepts in our head, and it's kind of like figure out the shots, figure out the dialogue, just come up with the wacky ideas in the moment while we're doing it, which obviously probably not the best way to do this kind of thing, but I would say some of our best ideas have come from these moments. I seem to remember the idea of the Carlos on the $100 bill thing being born from from this idea. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I almost always love the outcome, but the act of producing them.
So yeah, what I will say is, yes, at the end of the day, the YouTube video, while we're never creating these because we think we're going to get 1 million views, we're just doing it because we think it's a fun, goofy thing we can do that our viewers will enjoy. And yes, like Nick said, at the end of the day, the outcomes are usually really good. Like the Resident Evil one was fucking great. I thought that one ended up great.
Yeah, and that was so much low maintenance too.
Correct, nice. It was. But like Nick said, the actual act of filming them can be so fucking frustrating sometimes. I don't think any of us are genuinely mad at each other, but tensions generally always end up higher than they should be.
So high.
And
also Crispy definitely wants it a certain way, and if we're not all on the same page, it's like,
I will say this: there was the Terminator video that we did, which by the way turned out amazing, but you would not believe how little confidence I had in that concept when we were filming it. I remember we were at Crispy's house in his room, like having no clue what the fuck we were doing. We had the stupidest fucking props, and like we were yelling at each other. And when we were filming, I was like, I feel so stupid. This is gonna suck. It's so dumb.
That ended up
and then Chris Davis turned it into the fucking Terminator.
That ended up with one of my best lines ever.
Which
from
one?
That video. Perfect. This plan is back on.
Yeah, the problem is that the camera wasn't picking up everybody's voices.
The audio was horrible, so we had to
overdub it. Yeah,
but our ADRing skills are horrible, and so
I
think it added to it.
Wallcall brings up the. Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
The worst part about the Terminator video was, the night before it was supposed to go live, I finally finish it, and I upload it to YouTube, and the second it finishes processing YouTube, it gets straight blocked because because I was using like footage from Terminator 2 and I was just putting Brad's face over a fucking T-800.
Yeah.
Didn't the eye tracking or something, like, wasn't that a huge pain in the dick?
Oh, so
the fire on the eyes or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was hard enough. That took like a week to get done because I had to like do it at a rate of like 2 frames a second.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
But I ended up having to just like completely throw out like 50% of that video and then just turn it into like this NES style story sequence, like something out of Ninja Gaiden.
And and it turned out so well. I don't know how the fuck you pulled that out of your ass, but it was so good. But like some of my like, while Carl brings up the video, I don't even remember what this video was for, but it was Patreon week or Patreon month or whatever.
Yeah.
Where I'm in the robe in front of the fireplace, and then with smoking the pipe, and then Brad comes into the room and like you do that hard cut, and it's like I'm not really in front of a fire like that. I love that cut. It was so good.
That was a good one.
You know what? To answer your question, I would love to do more of these videos. Right now we're in the middle of a pandemic, so we're just definitely not going to be doing that.
Trying to avoid people right now.
Yeah.
But when it's appropriate, you know what I do want to do one day? I would like to go back and just collect all those videos and put them on a dedicated page on the website in one place together where people can see some of those things, because we spend a lot of time on them, and a lot of them are really funny. And even though they're irrelevant now, they're still great videos. I think worth sharing. So maybe I'll make that a project.
All right, our final question this week from Brucey
we'll do something
the Wizard.
cool for 2001 month next year.
Which version of the zombie/nuclear apocalypse depicted in any game or movie do you think you'd do best in? Bonus points for specific strongholds/locations.
So we're thinking
Does
about
Hades count?
No, that's hell. You son of a bitch. We're talking about specific interpretations of the post-apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Would we do best in?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
Waterworld. I drink my own pee.
I mean, you do that anyway already, so it's just a normal day.
Brad's over here like hoarding. He has like mason jars full of his own pee. Just.
I mean, that's why you never see him
You
get
never
up,
know.
get up in the middle of a podcast.
He's making sun tea.
Jesus Christ.
Thanks, Frank.
Waterworld's a good one. I was thinking like game wise, like Dead Rising.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Because those are pretty fucking stupid zombies. I'm trying to think of an event where like I don't want fucking like 28 Days Later zombies. Like fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't want that. I don't want World War Z zombies.
That's where so many of zombies nowadays are going. Like, so
it's never the
so
zombies
rare.
you have to to worry about, though.
It's the other people.
It's man.
Oh, maybe like a
State of Decay.
State of Decay. It's not. There's some fucking. There's some bad guys in that. I don't want.
Yeah,
like
but
a fucking,
there's logic to most of how that game works. So
I guess so. I was thinking more of like a Shaun of the Dead. That would be a good one. Those zombies, I think I could handle.
I mean, they solved the crisis at the end of the movie. So yeah.
Why are you
name of the
choosing
pub?
an apocalypse that's inherently dangerous?
Name an apocalypse that's not inherently dangerous.
He did specify zombie/nuclear apocalypse, so I mean,
Okay.
Those are both dangerous.
yeah.
I want to know what Brad was thinking about though. Name an apocalypse that's not dangerous.
Well, like you said, Waterworld. It's just all the ice caps have melted. Well, I don't think that was technically a nuclear apocalypse, though, Brad.
Well, something like Enslaved or even like Horizon or something. I mean, sure, there's like robot dinosaurs, but there's also people just living like peacefully. They're just sort of like wildlife or whatever.
Mm-hmm. What about like Planet of the Apes?
Yeah,
chill out with some monkey people.
Yeah, monkey people, cool.
I was about to say something really funny.
Those Planet of the Apes. I don't know. This is a random aside. Those recent Planet of the Apes movies are pretty good. If you haven't seen them,
dude, all of them are great. Yeah, no, those three movies were fucking choice.
Yeah,
I only saw the first
waiting
one.
for him to get. I kept
Chris
waiting
Davis,
for them
definitely
to be
watch
bad.
the other two.
They get better as they go. It's strange.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, if you've only seen the first one, the second one, I think the second one's probably the best out of the three. But the third one is pretty good too.
The third one had oh my god, why am I blanking on his name?
What are we talking about?
I don't know. Woody Harrelson. Thank you. It's pretty good.
Why not, Brad? What are you talking about? We're talking about apocalypse stuff.
What about the apocalypse in Mad Max?
Yeah, it's very
just
dry.
driving, just fucking driving.
But where do you get all the gasoline?
That's a good question.
Gastown.
Like, well, yeah, you got to fucking attack Gastown. I don't want to attack Gastown.
Yeah, Mad Max was a bad decision.
Yeah, that's not a good one.
And I prefer the before 4 times rather than Mad Max times. But I will say that first the Planet of the Apes remake has one of the best fucking scenes when Malfoy is fucking hitting Caesar. And then he's like, "Get your hands off me!" And Caesar says no, and all the other fucking apes are freaking out. That's a fucking great scene.
That was
like
a
you see the
damn
gorilla,
good
and he's
scene.
like, anyway. All right, that's all the questions this week. Thanks everybody for asking them. Like Nick said, we're still posting the thread, right? And then we're grabbing.
So I posted a single thread, and I just update it every week. And when I update it, it should send an email to everybody who's a supporter. And then I typically ping people in Discord to remind them to get their questions in. We bounce around a lot, so and we try to only do 3 or 4 questions a week. But if we haven't answered your question yet, we will get to it eventually. But you can go and leave your question anytime you want. There's a Google form that we use to collect these questions. It's pinned to the top of the supporter channel in Discord. And you can find the link also if you're a Patreon supporter on the post that's pinned at the top of our Patreon activity feed. So yeah, there's that. And you can ask us anything. We retain the right to refuse to answer questions, but you can ask us anything. Yeah, but if you want to support us, of course, patreon.com/4player is probably the best way to do it. You can also subscribe to us on Twitch at twitch.tv/4playerpodcast. Now, before we wrap up, I want to do a supporter spotlight for the week. If you're a supporter at the $5 tier or higher on Patreon, you're invited to submit or to answer some questions about your tastes in gaming. A little bit, tell the community a little bit about yourself. This week, our supporter spotlight is also Ash from the Burdekin Shire in Australia, which is, he asked a question. So
Rigged.
Not rigged. I figured he's our supporter spotlight. We'll also answer one of his questions. I was being nice. Chris Davis. All right. Ash from the Burdekin Shire, Australia. I can't say that. We ask, what is one interesting fact about yourself that you would like the community to know? And he says, the Yakuza franchise got me super into Japanese-style tattoos. I eventually bit the bullet and got a full dragon back piece similar to Kiryu.
What the fuck?
That sounds expensive.
I kind of want to see
very
a picture
much.
of it. He also says, getting your butt crack tattooed hurts.
What?
I'm
imagine.
guessing. Did it have
I'm
to
guessing-
go into the butt crack?
I mean, if I had to guess, this is kind of why I don't want to see a picture of his butt crack.
Is the dragon tattoo, does like the tail go down the butt
That's what I
crack
was
and
about
then up the other side, like looping
Oh,
around the ash cheek?
I didn't.
Like it's cradling the cheek?
That reminds me of fucking Red Dragon. He gets the giant back tattoo, and like I think the tail of the demon or whatever, like, or the dragon, like goes like wraps around his thigh and like goes down his leg. So yeah, there's a portion of that's on his butt, which I would imagine is probably uncomfortable when having that done. Mm-hmm. Top 5 games of all time.
You remember that a little too specifically, Nick.
Well, I just rewatched it recently.
Oh, okay.
You bitch.
I mean, so
And even if I did, who cares?
You
What's
took
wrong
a
with
pause between episodes of Smallville to watch Red Dragon?
I watched like 3 episodes of Smallville the other day.
God damn it.
It's still going. It's still going. I'm gonna tell you guys, there's some dumb episodes of that show, but there's also some really good ones. Shut up, Brad. Say it. Say it.
No, there's nothing to say at this point. I'm speechless. Nick.
Fair enough. Top 5 games of all time.
Are there a lot of Smallville fans? Are there like is there a hashtag like
There's
Smallville
dozens
rewatch?
of them, Brad. Dozens.
There's lots of Smallville fans, bro.
I feel like the creator
They
of
get
Smallville would
gets
feel
its own
embarrassed
panels
that
at Comic
you're still
Con. What do you want?
watching
The show's been over for ages, and it still
They
gets
have
panels at Comic Con.
They have panels.
Yeah, the same way
The cast
Buffy gets
members are on
panels now.
panels.
Buffy still
Buffy
gets panels.
is not on the but that is a different tier of fandom.
I will tell you
Surely.
that. I will tell you. Yes, absolutely, 110%. Definitely a different tier of fandom.
Smallville.
How is Buffy going? How's Buffy going, Brad?
We kind of stopped watching. We've been watching some other stuff.
I fucking knew you weren't gonna make it. I'm so disappointed.
Fuck off, dude. We're in season 2 and season 5. You know, Buffy's mom had a scare, a fainting scare.
Oh my
fainting
God.
Scare. Yeah.
Just keep going, Brad. For the love of God. Anyways,
I wonder if she's gonna drop dead.
back to the supporter spotlight. Top 5 games of all time. Ash from Australia says, number 5 is Final Fantasy.
9.
7 remake.
8.
Brad was closer. 7. It says, adored the cast, didn't play it until 2013. Couldn't believe how well it held up once you adjust to the weird Lego mutant bodies. Yeah, and the bodies that are always like that, the 10 different style like body models for each of the characters. It's fucking weird. Number 4 is Metal Gear Solid.
3.
1.
Metal Gear Solid 1.
It's 1. Metal Gear Solid 1. Played this shortly before 5 released. Man, he waited a long time on some of these. Couldn't believe how well it held up. Thrill ride from beginning to end. Yes, abso-fucking-lutely. That game is still a masterpiece. Number 3 is Dragon Age. I feel like this. I feel like that's kind of the only acceptable answer for that series, isn't it?
Yeah, that's definitely the best of them.
That's such a weird, like, inconsistent series. He says, my first proper RPG. Loved the cast of characters and the different relationships on replay. Sten, heart emoji, I guess.
Yeah,
That's what he wrote. Will never forget when he offered to take me and my waifu Liliana back to his homeland.
So one
Who
thing
was
I'll
Sten
say.
again?
Come on, dude. He was the Kunari guy.
Yeah,
before they had
right.
horns.
Yeah, before they had horns. That I always think of Dragon Age Origins. The other day, sorry to kind of take us off a trail real quick, but we had gotten the Demon Souls pre-order bonuses came up with like armor and shit like that. We were kind of talking about how that's bullshit. And I always remember Dragon Age Origins had like I think I pre-ordered the game and I got some like armor and a weapon or stuff, and I was so excited. And
The
then,
Mass Effect armor.
Yeah, exactly. The Mass Effect armor, and then that shit became useless in like 2 hours. It was now, and that just pissed me the fuck off.
Have you seen the Demon Souls remake pre-order?
Well, Brad, that's literally why I brought this up. That's what I was just saying.
You're stealing his thunder.
I literally just said that us talking about that in Discord the other day made me remember this, because this is like the first time I remember like a pre-order bonus that was like, what's the fucking point of it? And that's kind of one of the reasons now. Whenever if I do pre-order a game, it's never for that shit, because I know it's gonna be useless stuff. It's
I don't even look at it.
worth it. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's never worth it. It's like items that become like pointless, and it's like, why the fuck did they give me? Make it like it would be different if it was like shit. What is the armor that's just there? Doesn't actually do anything.
Cosmetic,
cosmetic fashion gear.
Fashion gear, thank you.
gear, yeah.
If it was fashion gear, that would be a different story. Give me
like
something
Monster Hunter
that's a
does that.
cool armor. The only way I can get it is to pre-order it, and I can just wear it whenever, but it doesn't actually affect my stats. Because especially in a game like Dragon Age, where stats are fucking important, I'm not going to wear this cool looking thing that's a piece of shit stat-wise. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Monster Hunter does
anyway.
that. For pre-orders and special editions, they do fashion gear.
So that's cool. I'm down for like something that. Don't get me wrong. I'm never really down for pre-order shit like that. That's always kind of sleazy. Yeah. But whatever. Anyway, sorry. To what's next?
No worries. Number 2, Persona
3, FES
4.
Wait, hold on. Damn it.
4 golden.
I was gonna change. I was gonna change my number based on the fact that they had just played. Fuck, what were you saying? What was the last game?
Dragon Age?
No, before
Final
that.
Fantasy
Sorry.
7? Metal Gear Solid?
I guess Metal Gear Solid, because you're saying they played Metal Gear Solid just before 5 came out, and that's why I was going to change the Persona to 4. But anyway, sorry. Golden's a good one.
Persona 4 Golden, love the mystery, adored hanging out with the cast, won't recover from the waifu wars.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the waifu wars are like the main reason I really want to one day actually finish a Persona game. But who knows if that'll ever happen. And his number one game of all time is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
It's fine with me.
Best story presentation I've come across in a game. Loved the characters. Yeah.
Interesting.
Story that is a pretty damn fine game. If you have not yet played Blood and Wine, play it. It's pretty fantastic.
I'd like it if CD Projekt Red actually released their numbers about how many people actually completed The Witcher 3. Because they recently said that they shortened the Cyberpunk campaign because of that feedback.
Oh, really? Not enough people finished Witcher 3?
Talking about Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Let's wrap things up with the 4-player minute.
Well, hold on.
They spend too much time playing Gwent.
One last thing. We asked, what is a game that you consider to be underrated that you wish more people would play and why? He says, OG Nier was my favorite game of 2010, thanks to Brad for recommending it to him. He feels like it finally is getting its due now, so if that didn't count, Binary Domain, because my boy Big Bo needs a spinoff. So there you go. Binary Domain and the original Nier, both are fantastic games. For different reasons, but both fantastic. All right. Ash, thank you so much for submitting. If you are interested in being considered for a supporter spotlight on a future show, all you got to do is support us on Patreon at the $5 tier or higher, or you can subscribe to us on Twitch. Either way, you should have access to the supporter spotlight channel in Discord. There is a pinned message in that channel that has a link to the form. Just go fill it out. I'll pick one at random before a show, and we'll read off your responses. Now, we wrap up the 4-player minute. Is everybody ready?
Brad?
Second?
That Binary Domain. Yeah. The main character looks so stupid in that.
He does look so stupid.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. I'll let Chris Davis be the
3,
start and stop.
2, 1, go.
My hype is for the February release of East 9 Monstrum Nox. I saw a trailer for it recently, and I was very surprised to see it looks so different. There's all kinds of cool, crazy mobility and stuff with the different characters. Looks crazy. My sweat is for Cyberpunk. It's coming out soon, and it really expectations are through the roof. And CD Projekt Red is they have their struggles. Their games have their flaws, and I'm curious. Preview stuff has been positive, but not glowing. Everyone seems to have some issues here and there. My thank you goes to Sakurai for putting up with all of the millennials complaining about the Zoomer character, even though that game is really about, boomer characters, right, from the 80s. So I don't understand it. Minecraft Steve, stupid but inspired, right? And my fuck you for this week goes to Gamefly. They introduced this thing called Game Lock, where you can lock in one game on your queue that guarantees that they ship it out day one. That's a sign that, because they always kind of did that when you had a spot open, that's a sign that maybe stock is about to decrease dramatically, and that scares the fuck out of me. Don't you fuck up Gamefly. It's the only thing like it.
Nice. All right. Nolan, how about you?
By the way, I have Cyberpunk game locked.
Nice. All right, my 4-player minute starts now.
Go.
My hype is more Spelunky 2. Even though I hate that game, I'm definitely going to keep playing it because I love it. And I want to get farther in it. And I'm going to die a lot more, but I'm still going to enjoy every second of it. My sweat is Wasteland 3. Kind of fell off that game hard. I enjoyed what I played of it, but I don't have the time, I guess, or it's there's other games I'd rather play.
How much did you play?
Huh?
Never mind, keep going.
Okay. My thank you is going to go to Landon, who tweeted at us and told us about Phasmophobia, and suggested that we play that as an event, and I watched a video, and I definitely think we should do that. I think that would be an exciting thing for this
I would be totally
spooky
down.
month we're in.
I'm in.
Sure.
And then my fuck you is going to go to all of the media who reviewed Super Mario Sunshine back in 2001 and talked about how great the game is and how it's a game changer and the best Mario ever. I don't know how much Nintendo was fucking paying them, but they are all idiots.
It was divisive back then too.
Dude, no, go back and fucking look at the reviews.
Fucking
oh my!
Nolan's
This
out here
game is so
seeking
amazing. The camera can be frustrating at times, but the game is amazing. Like,
It's at a 92 on Metacritic.
yes, look at no. It doesn't deserve a fucking 92.
I love this. I love this. All right, Chris Davis, how about you go next?
Okay. My 4-player minute starts now. My hype this week, I'm going to put it towards Squadrons, Star Wars Squadrons. If you would have seen my video that got put out today, there's a game that's remarkably similar to that video game. That
I didn't even know you had so much fondness for that game.
I fucking loved that game. It was so.
I know
fucking
people
good.
who played it love it, but I didn't even know you played it.
Oh,
also, you have 39 seconds left.
Yeah. Thanks for sabotaging.
What a bitch.
My thank you this week is going to go to the community for watching my video and leaving positive feedback. I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to try to push everyone else here on the site to actually maybe do one more of these this year. Like Nolan, I'd love for you to put on video.
Oh God, good luck.
My fuck you this week. Yeah, I'm going to put out to Ubisoft once again because fuck you, Ubisoft. You're just finding a way to just piss me off every day.
There's always a reason.
There's always a reason. And
That's time.
that's time. That's it. I'm done. I can't think of anything else.
Get off
you
the
had started
stage. You're
your
out of
thought.
time.
If you had started your thought
If I would have started my thought,
If you had started your thought, he
before
would've
the
let you
timer
finish it.
ran
That's
out,
the
if you would
rule.
have started your final thought, you could have finished it. But
yeah.
He looks like he was trying to find his thought. So
yeah, exactly.
it's all good. All right.
I didn't write it down this week, so
Tell me when, Chris Davis.
3, 2, 1, start.
I have
Wait,
four.
before you start,
God
stop
damn
the
it.
timer.
What?
I went to Super Mario Sunshine's Metacritic and I
doesn't
found the
count, by the way.
lowest score. I found the lowest score from a professional outlet, GameCritics.com or whatever, and they gave it a 60, which is good, right? Because back in the day, I feel
That's
games
honestly what it deserves.
yeah. They say to say that the camera in this game is atrocious is like saying being kicked in the teeth kind of hurts. Gives the person an idea about how bad it is, but it doesn't even begin to describe the agony in detail.
All right.
Damn.
That's a good
Are
quote.
they still around? Because I maybe want to give them some business
That is
for
a
being
good quote.
honest and not filleting Nintendo when they don't deserve it.
That's good. All right, I'm starting my 4-player minute over now. You ready,
Start.
Chris Davis?
Go.
All right. I have 4 hypes this week because it is October and I am suddenly just inundated with games that I want to play. My first hype goes to Darkwood. This is a game that Carlos loves. I've been kind of interested for a while. I've owned it for a while. It's been in my Steam library, but I finally watched a trailer for it the other night, and I was like, this looks amazing. I can't wait to play it. I'm going to stream some of that this month. My second hype goes to Castlevania Symphony of the Night. We're playing it for the Revival Club once again. Super hyped to finally play this game. I've played a couple Castlevanias. I love Castlevania, but this is like the best one, so I'm looking forward to playing it. My third hype goes to Amnesia Rebirth. I love Amnesia. I love that studio. I loved Soma. I love that style of horror game. I cannot wait to play this. I'll be streaming it the night of release on the 20th, so check that out. And my last hype goes to a game called Under, which is a PT-esque clone. Just think of PT in terms of like its style of horror and presentation and how you're exploring this like really photorealistic environment, but it takes place on a sinking ship. Sounds fucking cool. I don't know when it comes out, other than it comes out sometime this month. It says Halloween 2020, so maybe they literally mean it comes out on Halloween. I have no fucking clue, but I'm gonna play it. And yeah, that's it.
I think it's really dumb that the new game from, the Until Dawn people, whatever, Little Hope, what's it called?
Yeah, the Silent
comes
Hill
out the
clone.
day before Halloween. Don't release your Halloweeny games on Halloween.
Yeah.
Do it at the beginning of the month.
Or at least a couple
know?
weeks before.
Yeah, at least a couple weeks before.
For
when
sure,
people will
for sure.
actually want to buy it.
Absolutely. The point is, there's a lot of stuff to play this month. Some of it new, some of it old, but I'm super hyped. So, guys, that is going to do it for our show tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. 4playernetwork.com is the website. If you want to support us financially, please check us out at patreon.com/4player. You can also find us on Discord, absolutely free, at discord.gg/4player. We will be back next week to talk about more video games next Thursday night. I don't know what we'll be discussing, but there will be stuff. Hopefully one of us will have played Squadrons. I'm giving it serious thought because I want to play it in VR. But yeah, man. I don't know
Gameplay is sending it to me. I will try it, but I will not have enough time. Well, I'm not even going to be on next week's show, but I'll talk about the week after.
Cool. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much.
Also, don't play that horror game next week if I'm not here.
Oh, no, we won't. I want
to play that.
I figured we'd probably wait until like closer to Halloween to play Phantasmophobia, which was recommended to us by a community member on Twitter. So thank you for the recommendation.
Landon.
It should be fun. I think Crispy's in too. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. We will catch you guys next week. Have a wonderful night. Be safe. Be good to each other. We'll see you later. Good night.